Welcome! You have signed up for the Witch Daily Halloween Countdown. 31 days of fantastic witchiness to get you ready for the Samhain season, get you ready for Halloween. We've got arts, we got crafts, we got lessons, we've got food, we've got all kinds of stuff. Everything you need to get ready for Samhain. You'll get one of these in your email box every single day, and I hope you enjoy them. We are going to have so much fun. I'm beyond excited to be sharing this information with you. So if you don't know already, my name is Marianne Vanderhove, and I am a witch. I have a third degree in at least 2 traditions. I'm what most people call an eclectic witch, but I also have been trained in traditional British traditional Wicca, so I can call on both of those if I need to. Nothing that you get in these videos is going to be oath-bound, so you can share it. You can share it with your coven mates. You can share it with anyone who you want to work with or talk to. Anybody you want to learn from, anybody you want to learn with. You can ask us questions. You can email us at marianne@witchdaily.com or witchdailymedia@gmail.com. Everything's up for grabs. From time to time, you will also hear me refer to lessons that we have available, so just know that that's available to you if you want it. We have something called the Foundation series that we are promoting, and then we have other just kind of random lessons that are available to you. So anyway, this is going to be so much fun. You're going to learn plenty just in these free videos. You get one every day. They are usually about 5 minutes. Yeah, so I hope we have a good time. Today, we are going to talk about the circle. Now, if you have not yet learned about circles and how the shape of the circle works in Wicca and magic, or witchcraft and magic, this is what we're going to talk about today. So you've probably heard or seen people talk about casting a circle, but you may not know that the circle has other implications as well. So the shape of the circle represents infinity. It represents life, and that there's a continuity of life, right? And when we talk about casting a circle, the purpose of casting a circle is not only for protection. The real primary purpose for casting a circle is to concentrate the power of what you are doing inside the circle. So if you're casting a spell inside the circle, the purpose of the circle is to concentrate the power of doing the work itself, and then sending that out into the world with the magic attached to it, right? So the circle is not only about protection. That's definitely part of it, but it is not the primary purpose. When you're doing a ritual, especially if you're doing a ritual with other people, the circle is cast to unify your wills. You cast a circle in order to hold the collective will of all the coven mates. And then, same purpose, concentrate it and then send it out into the world with all of that power and oomph behind it, if you will. To cast a circle, there are 2 ways of casting the circle in terms of if you're indoors or outdoors. If you're indoors, the best way is to cast the circle to the walls, so that you're actually casting the circle to include all the spaces around you. So it's not just, you're kind of pointing the circle downward. If you cast to the walls, it's kind of you still project the image of casting the circle itself, meaning the shape of a circle, but you do it to the kind of pointing either your fingers or the athame out rather than down. Now, if you want to concentrate it to the floor, this is perfectly fine. You're more than welcome to do that. It just means you have to be more careful about breaking the circle itself, right? And also, the more concentration you need for the circle, the more you want to cast it to the floor. Okay, so you'll hear witches say, cast to the floor, cast to the walls. The more concentration you want to cast to the floor. Now, how do you cast a circle? There are 2 directions that you can go on. We're going to talk about both of them. The most common is a direction called sunwise or jeshel, or sometimes you see this pronounced jayosil or jayosil. It's not dayosil, it's jeshel or jayosil, just so you know. And it means sunwise, so, or clockwise. That's considered an auspicious direction. It is the direction of becoming or creating. The other one is called widdershins, and it's opposite. It's counterclockwise. It's the direction of undoing, right? So the majority of times, almost all the time, you are casting your circle to the floor to cast Widdershins. I need to ask you why, right? Widdershins is a direction of undoing, and the only official time that you cast Widdershins is either at Samhain or Halloween, or when you're doing truly baneful magic where you're trying to undo something, right? And baneful doesn't mean bad, it just means undoing or warding defensive magic, right? So, most of the time it's going to be Jeshel, and most of the time it's going to be to the floor. If you are performing your circle outside, you are going to want to cast your circle to the ground, and you want to be very careful to stay in that boundary. Now, a lot of people, in order to maintain the boundary, they will cast a circle either in flower petals, if you're outside, right? Flower petals, or set up a stone area, but you want to make sure that you stay within the circle and you don't cross the circle or break the circle, as it were. Now, what about how? Like, what are you doing with your head and your brain and your mouth and your hands when you're casting a circle? You don't need anything fancy to cast a circle. What you need is will. And what I mean by will is not just intention, but this kind of intensity of being that comes from being alive. And everybody has that, but you have to focus it. And a lot of times the best way to focus it is to visualize. So some people visualize white light, some people visualize blue light, some people visualize fire, some people visualize like water or glitter, like knock yourself out, whatever you want to visualize. But it's important to visualize. And while you are casting the circle, you should also be using your voice. So part of learning about magic is learning about practice and the praxis of magic. If you watch our foundation videos, you'll see that there are four principles of magic that occur in almost every magical system there is. And praxis is one of them, right? And praxis means that you are engaging in a practice from which you are always learning and that you are always developing. So praxis doesn't mean like some theoretical knowledge. It means a practice, a regular, daily, artistic relationship that you are engaging in all the time. So your own circle casting should be something you create. Now, if you're in a traditional coven, or you want to start a traditional coven and you have stuff that's been handed down to you, by all means knock yourself out, because those are very powerful and there's a whole reason that they're powerful. But if you're starting on your own and you're eclectic, or you're starting with a group of friends and you guys are making your own coven, then create your own circle casting. A circle casting should be, first of all, driven by your will, visualized in some way that is meaningful to you, and it needs to be spoken and done with your body. So what I teach my students to write the first time they write a circle casting is to keep it as simple as possible so that you can remember it and concentrate, right? It's almost always, by my will, I, Marianne, cast the circle in perfect love and perfect trust. Done, right? And you want to be able to remember it, because you don't want to be like fiddling with a piece of paper and trying to remember stuff. It needs to be simple, to the point, and you need to be able to draw that forward and really own it when you're doing it. I, Marianne, cast the circle in perfect love and perfect trust, right? Now, if you have an athame, you would use your athame to direct the energy of your will. If you don't have an athame, you don't need it to cast a circle. You can use your fingers. I teach my students to use your fingers like this. So you hold your fingers like this, as though they're a pointed blade, and it's not this, because that's not enough energy. You want to use your whole hand, and this takes more concentration than this. So this shape for your fingers, and pointed down to cast a circle. You want to use your right hand, even if you're left-handed, to cast a circle, because right is outgoing energy, left is incoming energy. So you use your right hand to cast the circle, and you use the circle casting that you wrote. I, Marianne, do cast the circle by my will, so mote it be. Right? Or by my will, I, Marianne, do cast the circle in perfect love and perfect trust. And you say that over and over until the circle has been rounded 3 times, right? If you're in a pinch, you can do it once. Don't do it twice, and don't do it 4 times. Always odd numbers, and preferably odd numbers of threes. So 1, 3, 9, etc. So fingers, voice, body, you want to circumambulate or walk the circle as you do this if you can. And to the floor, especially if you're outside, to the walls if you're inside if you're more comfortable. And you want to visualize while you're doing it. Okay, so the circle is important because it is the shape of life, constantly renewing itself. And as witches, what we are doing is we are participating in that. And not just as passive people who are receiving it, but we are actively participating. We participate in the energy of life and of making things happen. We participate in creation from a very active perspective. So the circle symbolizes that. It symbolizes our unity with that kind of cosmic purpose. And we use the circle to cast not only for protection, but to concentrate the magical power. So once you're done with your spell, ideally you would draw the energy back up, right? And that similarly can be just as simple as casting. You say, I, Marianne, do withdraw the energy of the circle in perfect love and perfect trust, so mote it be, right? And you can circumambulate with it if you want to. You actually don't have to. You can just stand in one place and use your fingers. I do that a lot. The reason is you want the circle to become a sacred place, either in your house or in your garden, in your yard, wherever you're casting the circle. You want that to maintain that energy, right? So you want to leave like a little residual magical energy out there. It's totally fine. What you don't want to do is leave a boundary and not have sent your magic up into the world. That's one of the reasons you're casting the circle. You may have heard, or you may hear witches talk about raising a cone of power. That's what they're talking about. Inside the circle, using your body, using your voice to raise the energy of the thing that you are making manifest, so that you can send it from your concentrated will out into the will of the world to come back to you as manifestation. Right? So now you got all the pieces you need. You can cast a circle. You can write your circle casting. You know when to go Jeshel, when to go Widdershins, and you know what a circle is for. Circle can be for protection, absolutely, but remember, the primary purpose is to make a sacred space for you to concentrate the energy of the magic that you're going to wield. So that is our very first lesson for the Halloween Samhain countdown. I hope that you enjoy it. If you have any questions, please, please, please send us an email at witchdailymedia@gmail.com, or you can write to me directly at marianne@witchdaily.com. And I promise we'll get back to you, or we'll have one of these videos just directly from your questions. And I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying the Samhain season, and hurry up and get your witch on as you move forward towards Samhain. We'll see you tomorrow.